Hello everybody. Today I am going to tell you about the dental treatment protocol in COVID-19. I am Dr. Maya Indulkar, working as a dean at Government Dental College and Hospital, Aurangabad. In the current COVID-19 pandemic, dentists, auxiliaries, as well as patients undergoing dental procedures are at high risk of cross-infection. Most dental procedures require close contact with the patient's oral cavity, saliva, blood, and respiratory tract secretions. Saliva is rich in COVID-19 viral load. Many patients who are asymptomatic may be carriers. For this reason, it is suggested that all patients visiting a dental office must be treated with due precautions. Now, Government of India, state government and district authorities, depending upon the number of the patients, they divide city in different zones like red zone, orange zone, green zone and containment zone. Now red zones are the hotspots where considerable number of the patients are found. Now in red zone, emergency dental procedures can be performed. Now, where no COVID patients are found, they are green zone. And where the number of the patients they were found in the past and there are no active patients, they are divided as an orange zone. The dental clinics in orange and green zone, they will function to provide the dental concerns. Dental operation should be restricted to emergency and the urgent dental treatment procedures only. Now, the district authorities, depending upon the geographical area involved, they divide containment zone. Now, the dental clinics will remain closed in the containment zone. However, only the emergency services they are provided in the containment zone and the supply of the goods is provided in the containment zone. Now, in the containment zone, they can continue to provide the teletriaging and patients in this zone, they can seek ambulance services to travel to the nearby COVID dental facility. But all routine and elective dental procedures, they should be deferred at a later date until new policy or guidelines are issued by the government. About oral cancer screening. Now, due to the high risk associated with the examination of the oral cavity, oral cancer screening should be deferred or they can be postponed at a later date. And the next guidelines and new policy will be issued by the government for the same. Now, whenever patient is visiting to the dental clinic, initial assessment of all the patient is done. For that, teleconsulting is also useful. Now, whenever patient is visiting to the dental hospital, the temperature is recorded with the thermal scanner. If the temperature is more than 98.6 degree Fahrenheit, you can consider that the patient is having fever and patient can be referred to the fever clinic. With the help of the pulse oximeter, the oxygen saturation reading is recorded. Now, if it is below 90%, then you can consider that the patient is having a hypoxia and you can correlate this reading with the other symptoms of the if the patient is having sore throat, cough, and if the patient is having running nose, and then patient is again referred to the fever clinics. You can maintain a chart of the patient. Then you can give questionnaire to the patient. I am going to show you which questionnaire you can give to the patient. Record the consent form, get it filled up before performing the procedure. Then you can identify whether patient needs emergency treatment, urgent treatment or the elective treatment. Now this is a history pro forma which includes name of the patient, age, sex, name of the doctor. Even you have to record the contact number of the patient because for contact tracing this contact number is useful. Record the date and the time, doctor on duty. You have to take the travel history of the patient, whether patient is having foreign travel, domestic travel, whether he has visited any social gathering, whether there is any contact with the confirmed COVID-19 in the last 1 month, then the symptoms of the patients like fever, difficulty breathing, cough and the sneezing, and whether the systemic history of the patient is positive, whether patient is having diabetes mellitus, cardiac history, or whether patient is immunocompromised. So other necessary information is to be it is to be recorded. Then we have to fill up this consent form. We regularly take this consent from the patient for COVID-19. This COVID-19 consent form, it is necessary to get it filled up from the patient. You can you can get it done from either from the web link or whenever the patient is visiting personally, physically, then you can get it filled up from the patient. So this is the consent form. Now, Ministry of Health and the Family Welfare on 19th of May has given the list of emergency and the urgent dental procedures. Now, accordingly, you can decide which dental procedures you can perform on the patient. Now, emergency dental procedures are the one which increases the patient's death risk, and urgent dental procedures are the clinical conditions or dental origins, but which do not increase the patient's death risk. Now we see which are the emergency dental procedures. Fast-spreading infections of facial spaces like Ludwig's angina, acute cellulitis of dental origin, acute trismus, all these are the emergency dental procedures which requires immediate attention because it increases the patient's death risk. In uncontrolled bleeding of dental origin, we have to find out whether there are any other medical conditions also due to which there is the uncontrolled bleeding. If the patient is having severe uncontrolled dental pain which is not responding to the routine measures, trauma involving the face or the facial bones, if the medico-legal situation is there, if there is a facial trauma, radiographs like OPG, CBCT or extraoral radiographs are needed, they have to be taken. Then urgent dental procedures in children and adolescents are the acute pulpitis, dental abscess, dental alveolar trauma, pain of cavitation which requires temporary restoration, unavoidable dental extractions, orthodontic procedures where there is range from moderate to very high. Urgent dental procedures in adults and geriatric are dental pain of pulpal origin, not controlled by 3A like advice, analgesics and antibiotics. Acute dental abscess of pulpal, periodontal, endoperio origin, wherever there is a vertical split of the teeth. Then completion of ongoing root canal treatment, temporization of cavitation in teeth which are approximating pulp but do not need pulp therapy, broken restoration, fixed prosthesis causing sensitivity of the vital teeth, endangering to pulpitis, significant difficulty in mastication, unavoidable dental extractions, post-extraction complications, already prepared teeth, implant abutments to receive crowns. All these are the urgent dental procedures. Few more are the peri-implant infections endangering the stability, pericoronitis, oral mucosal lesions requiring biopsy, long-standing cysts and the tumors of the jaw with abrupt changes, trigeminal neuralgia, sharp teeth, which is causing injury to the oral mucosa, teeth, and the tongue. Orthodontic wire or the appliances, piercing or impinging on the oral mucosa, orthodontic treatment causing iatrogenic effects, delivery of the clear aligners, patients on skeletal anchorage, implant prosthesis related issues, candidiasis, and oral cancer requiring the biopsy. Now, few patients with medical conditions like diabetes mellitus requiring treatment for periodontal conditions, dental treatment for patients requiring cardiac surgery, hospitalized patients requiring dental care for acute problems, patients requiring dental treatment for radiotherapy, or patients undergone organ transplantation. So these are the urgent dental procedures in medically compromised patients. Now, the interns Staff members, those are working in different medical colleges and in dental colleges, they should know which dental procedures should be avoided, they should be deferred in different departments during COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the treatment which are deferred in conservative dentistry are the bleaching, aesthetic procedures. In Department of Prosthodontics, crown, fixed partial dentures, full mouth rehabilitation, implants, post and core laminates, definitive removable partial dentures, implant procedures, definitive obturator and the maxillofacial prosthesis. Intraalveolar tooth extraction of the symptomatic tooth can be performed at a later date because the formation of the aerosols can be there during performing these procedures. Ultrasonic scaling is avoided in Department of Periodontology again due to formation of the aerosols. And if it is necessary, then all the precautions are to be taken, like wearing of the personal protection kit, wearing of the face shield, N95 mask, wearing of the gloves, implant surgery, any surgery requiring power-driven ultrasonic instruments. Intraoral periapical radiographs and the IVG should not be taken in oral medicine and radiology. Instead of that, the OPG and the CBCT scan extraoral radiographs, they are advisable. In the pediatric dentistry, use of air rotor, use of ultrasonic scalers for scaling is avoided. Instead of that, hand scaling is advisable. Bonding of orthodontic brackets, debonding of brackets is referred. Use of fixed retainer, aerosol genetic procedures like polishing, impression making. And in Department of Public Health Dentistry, non-emergency treatment should be postponed. In oral pathology, cytology, frozen sectioning, and centrifugal machine use can be avoided. So my takeaway message is that all the dentists, they are advised to remain updated for the guidelines issued by Ministry of Home Affairs and Ministry of Health and Family Welfare from time to time for treatment protocol. So dentists take precautions and practice safe dentistry. Thank you.